You can butcher 20,000 chickens going through your kitchen, which would be absolutely ridiculous, and be able to have them under the parts per million, bacteria count that is set. Then somebody can come in and do a random, grab a random chicken and do a test on it, however often they want to do that. Then that's what we think should happen. Instead of having to build something with walls and windows and all that kind of thing, and supposedly these walls and windows are going to keep our chickens clean.
I knew a guy in Ohio. Ohio has been terrible about pastured poultry. They require, impermeable walls and all this stuff.
They say that
this is impermeable walls. Yeah, this is impermeable walls. But they didn't say how tall the walls had to be. Yeah. That's what's cool about it. I mean, I can't say how proud I am of Tyler coming up with this with 12-inch walls and great big windows. That's really clever, because see, we don't want a bunch of light bulbs. Like I said, as soon as you put a roof on here, then it gets dark. Then you have to have light bulbs.
I read an article that Joel wrote several years back, just right out of high school. Found out he had an internship program and was very interested, and so I wrote him a letter and said, could I get some more information about this internship program, and put a little bit of a biography in there, and he wrote back and said, I'll take you. Up until probably the last year or two, it was probably the hardest I'd ever worked in my life.
What we're trying to do is to have the young people leverage our experience on their energy and actually get more done than we could do by ourselves, and give enough confidence that they feel ready to go out and duplicate this, replicate it, within the confines of their own temperament, their own climate, their own conditions, to make, and actually to have enough confidence to even make adaptations that are locally and climatically appropriate for their situation.
Then there's hazelnuts in the other half of this orchard, and I don't know anything about hazelnuts, but I'm going to learn. So we're going to probably keep the hazelnuts as well, and I don't know exactly what we're going to do with them.
This is an incredible asset that came with this place. Yes.
Oh my gosh,
yes. It's a tremendous asset. So the question is, all right, now we've got this place, we've got these trees. How do we leverage this asset? And so one of the options that that Tyler and Alicia are looking at is, would our best leverage on this be, for example, a small commercial kitchen, where instead of selling a bushel of apples, we could sell apple sauce or apple pies or apple butter, exactly, or something like that. Same with the plums, same with everything else, so that you take this thing that in its raw state might produce, $2,000 worth of fruit, and you put some labor in it, and you've suddenly, turned that into $10,000 or $20,000 worth of fruit.
Dry the apples.
And it has a long shelf life.
Yeah,
with a long shelf life.
Yeah.
So
you're able to take your product that is perishable, and make it much less perishable, so that it gives you more time to sell it.
It's a very rewarding lifestyle.
Look at the office.
Yeah, exactly.
Who wouldn't want to work in this office?
Yeah, exactly. Rewarding in so many different ways, both in your successes and your failures. When you fail, you don't really have too many people to blame.
I don't like that.
I don't either, actually. But at the same time, it makes you get up faster, and
it makes you grow as a person.
Right.
Because if you can always point the finger and say I'm a victim, then you don't learn personally. You don't grow personally. Character development.
Exactly. And then when you succeed, and those who are working with you, in as a collective, you succeed in it. It's extremely rewarding and enjoyable, and you feel fulfilled.
Well, so many vocations in life right now are all geared to working for the big global whatever entity that you may or may not agree with their value system, the bureaucracy. You know, there's people doing things that you're not sure you can agree with. There's company policy you're not sure you can agree. You know, there's just so many areas that you just have to compromise.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like, and the beauty of this kind of farming is that it is such a noble, sacred way to minister to people with food that's healthy for them, to minister to the land with healing that's regenerative for it, and minister to your own soul with something that doesn't require that compromise, that is just good in all its dimensions and righteous, and
it encourages family.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
and I really believe that there are way more, as a percentage, of young people today interested in doing something meaningful with their life than something money oriented with their life, like my generation was, and maybe even my generation was you know, more than the previous one. I don't know, but that is very heartening and very encouraging, and this whole healing food, healing people, healing the land, honorable vocation is
almost sacramental.
It's sacramental.
Yeah.
It's big enough to take the most meaningful passion of your life, and that's exciting.